this is Chris and his Capital One Venture X business card. Together, they're making mountainside.
Big news!
I have a little news flash.
Let's check the headlines.
Nah, it's real news for once.
The biggest stories in the local, regional, and national news.
This is huge news.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Gets Benny in the car.
To Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass.
And it goes for the win. The three-pointer by Jordan Poole.
Here's the give.
Walker. Kenneth Walker. Touchdown. Spotty.
Goff's got it. Back. Looks. Throws. Ends up.
Yes.
Caught. Touchdown Detroit Lions. They did it. Amon-Ra St. Brown in the receiving end.
Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's
Out of here. A grand slam from Miguel Cabrera. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
welcome in to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Ryan
here. Oh, there you are.
Ryan, okay, I can get audio. I just can't get video right now. But I can get audio if that does anything for you. If that makes you feel good, I can get that portion of it.
Hey, we can do that for now.
We can do that for now. As Ryan was saying, that's Ryan Elke and Ben Glaze. I'm Anthony Bellino. We are having technological nightmares, but that's okay. It happens from time to time. It's a Tuesday. It's the 14th day of November, 2023. And it is so great to have you all ride along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio and worldwide on the iHeartRadio app. Monday Night Football. Well, folks, I try to tell you, I know the final score. You might be thinking to yourself, well, okay, it's not exactly like, hey, look, man, the Bills trot out how many guys out there, the final ticks for the attempt for the field goal. How do you have too many men on the field? How do you lose to the Denver Broncos? How does that happen?
Turnovers.
Goodness gracious. I mean, look, man, I've been trying to tell people, I think the Bills window is closed. They can't.
I don't know if it's closed. I think it's taking a break this year. I think as long as Josh Allen's the quarterback, I still think that window's always cracked.
Crack?
Yeah.
Oh, the window's cracked. Oh, okay.
Like, it's not fully closed, but it's like, all right, some years it's wider open. Some years it's like it's close to being shut. But I think it all depends on if Josh Allen, what color jersey he's thrown to.
Yeah, he really can't stop turning the ball over. He really can't. It was good to see James Cook and the run game produce a little bit because I think that they had been lacking a little bit in that
James
area.
Cook also fumbled the first play of the game.
Oh.
He didn't really help. He had two fumbles.
Two fumbles. Lost one and fell on one. But just as far as being able to provide substantial gains on the ground and to get over the century mark is, I think that's big. I mean, you look back to when Buffalo in this version of them was like, really cooking with gas. Like Josh Allen's got to quit turning the football over. They have to have a more consistent run game, and it was decent last night. But to lose to the Denver Broncos, that is terrible. And how do you have 12 men on the field on a field goal block? How was that possible? Like, it just doesn't make any sense at all. 4 turnovers in the day. I mean, it's terrible. Just terrible for the Bills. And for the Broncos, I mean, did they deserve to win? I mean, I don't know. They won the game, so I guess. But that's a terrible, terrible way to go down. How about our boy Robert Saleh had to come out again and say that the Jets are not going to change quarterbacks, despite that their offense isn't any good. Isn't that the wildest story? He has to keep
just negligence at this point.
Well, I mean, I don't know who else would they play? Like, what else are they going to do?
Anyone. Do what the Broncos did years ago during that COVID year where they ran out of quarterbacks. Like, put a wide receiver out there.
Just run Wildcat the entire game.
I mean, try something. Is Ronnie Brown still available?
Jeez.
Did he not put on 100 pounds after his playing days? Can he come out and play?
I mean, it's pretty incredible what a disaster that has been since Aaron Rodgers has been hurt. Now they're saying the rumor is maybe December to come back from an Achilles injury. Are you kidding me? Is that even physically possible? Like, I get modern medicine and everything, but no way. I mean, to not miss a year, but just a few months, like that just seems unrealistic to me.
Well, the rumors or the message boards are saying that maybe Aaron Rodgers embellished or maybe lied about his initial injury.
Can't say that didn't cross my mind.
Coming back. And, you know, this man does have a history of going out and kind of fibbing or twisting the words of his status.
Look, man, I don't know, torn Achilles? Like, it just doesn't seem feasible that you'd be able to return that quickly. Something just doesn't seem right about that. I don't know what it is, but there's no way you're coming back in just months from a torn Achilles. Like, that to me just does not. It just seems ridiculous. But that's me. So I'm always skeptical about everything. And it's like, yeah, he's already like up walking around. Like, this happened, the first week of September? It's now the second week of November. I'm sorry, but something doesn't look right. Can I see the MRI? Can I see the X-ray? Can I see the Achilles actually torn via the, via the actual medical professionals? And I wanted to ask you too. Now that the Texas A&M job is open, Oregon's Dan Lanning has been asked, multiple times. I thought he gave a hell of an answer yesterday when discussing whether or not he was going to, hey, we got some other jobs that are open. I thought his answer was spot on. I think that's exactly how you knock a rumor out and how you put it to bed. Is you just come around and say, like, look, if you are happy where you're at, you do exactly what Dan Lanning did. If you're not happy where you're at, or you want a new challenge, or you want a bigger contract, like then you can.
It doesn't matter, because no matter what a coach says, the fan base will be in denial of whatever they say and just think it's the opposite. Because all the replies under Dan, like the quotes from Dan Lanning, yesterday, like, "Oh, he's so gone. He's left already."
It's crazy. It's crazy that it's come to that, right? There was such a run on.
Delusional. These fan bases are, and by these fan bases, I mean all fan bases.
And there was such a run on coaches just lying out of their teeth, going, "Oh no, I'm happy here. We've got nothing to worry about," and then poof, gone in the middle of the night. Like, "Oh, I'm not going to talk about that in the season. My guys need me," and then poof, gone. The Dan Lanning's like, I can play the actual audio for our listeners, but it was just drastic to the point where it's like, look, I'm happy here. This is what we've got. Everything I want exists right here. I'm not going anywhere. There's zero chance that I would be coaching somewhere else. I've got unfinished business here. We have the resources, the tools. Anybody that can't understand that, why would you want to be at this place? Doesn't understand exactly what exists here.
The good old American story of Nike money versus Texas oil money.
What an American story it is, too. That Texas oil money, oh my goodness. Jimbo Fisher. Think about the racket. Power 5 schools owe him $146 million. Or Power 5 schools owe $146 million to fired coaches in general since 2022. That, to me, is mind-blowing. We'll step aside when we return. More NFL, a little bit more from Monday Night Football coming up next year, X's and Bros. I'm going to get my video fixed. Michigan Sports Network.
Bill Simonson here for my good friend Josh Garvey. Now, he is a managing shareholder at Br0's, soon to be Doran Mayhew at the end of the year. And with the merger, there is growth and a chance for you to fill an executive or other high-level finance-related roles, either at Br0 here in downtown Grand Rapids or over at the Doran Mayhew World Headquarters in Troy, or at any of their offices across the country and around the world. They have a national specialized talent pool with ideal candidates for long-term placement, ongoing support for post-placement success. So if you're looking for that next chapter in your professional career, talk to Josh Garvey and the team at Br0. Easiest way, you can call Br0, ask for Josh Garvey, or go to their website, BENEGARTR.com, or look for Br0, soon to be Doran Mayhew, on Facebook and on Twitter.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. Book your stay this fall in a luxurious first-class room and receive $50 premium play, a $20 spa credit, and a $25 dining credit. Rates are just $289 a night, Sunday through Thursday, and $339 on Fridays and Saturdays. Reserve your room now. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Roast Umber is a farm-direct coffee sourced from Central American farmers and roasted in Grand Rapids. And also the Nitro Cold Brew Coffee is a convenient and healthy option for energy with no sugar additives. Look for it at your local retailer or at roastumber.com.
From Traverse City to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, you're listening to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Josh Allen, 11 interceptions and 14 total turnovers, which is the most in the NFL, in case you were wondering or keeping score at home. Golf season coming to a close, folks. Matt Gold and his team, though, however, at Tullymore Golf Resort still have a wonderful venue for you in this offseason. Tullymore Golf Resort, located in Canadian Lakes, offers not one but two championship courses, Tullymore and St. Ives. It's located smack dab in the middle of the state, about an hour north of Grand Rapids, 30 minutes west of Mount Pleasant. The best part about this, it doesn't only just feature top-of-the-line golfing experiences, but also top-of-the-line accommodations and the perfect space for your wedding event, reception, or group outing. So visit TullymoreGolf.com. That's TullymoreGolf.com, or call 1-800-972-4837. 1-800-972-4837. Book your stay and play and start thinking about 2024 today. Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Great to have you riding along with us. Also, as a reminder, Ice Mountain, a Michigan-based company producing the finest spring water in the Great Lakes state. They've partnered with us for our at the Michigan Sports Network for our tailgate for the game, Michigan versus Ohio State. It's going to be Saturday, November 25th at Michigan Stadium. The party and tailgate is from 8 a.m. until kickoff at the Stadium Club 327. That's located at 327 East Hoover, just a block away from the Big House. So join us and special guest Lions legend Lomas Brown as we kick off the biggest game in college football and the best rivalry in sports. So Ice Mountain will be there providing some non-alcoholic beverages. Our friends at Soaring Eagle getting busy as well in on this tailgate, so that'll be a lot of fun, and that is 327 East Hoover, literally one block away. Whether you have tickets or not, if you're in the area, if you just want to come out for the tailgating experience, and for the game, if you've never done it before, come on out. It's going to be sensational. All right, last night we have I really enjoy this. I think that this is an awesome element, and I think that it works for who it is. Now, I know Pat McAfee. I haven't had the opportunity to listen to it, but I know that Pat McAfee's doing an NFL Red Zone style of program for college football, which I can't believe hasn't existed up until this year. That, to me, felt like one of the biggest whiffs, is like, how do we show highlights of all these games, whip around coverage? Would there be an issue because of the networks? You know, would that be a problem? Because at the NFL is obviously the Red Zone's owned by the NFL. The NFL has the broadcast rights, plus with blackout restrictions and everything else. You know, college football is a lot more accessible, plus with all the different network partners that have their own individual deals with the conference. Would they allow ESPN to show a game on that's airing on NBC and so on and so forth? So I don't know exactly. I know it's a Red Zone style, but it's not exactly that. The Peyton and Eli broadcast, however, I think is sensational. And if you want to learn more about the game of football, I don't always like their guests. I mean, last night they put on Lindsey Vaughn for God knows what reason, but they did bring on Kyle Bryant from NFL Network. They did talk to Patrick Mahomes. Like, there were some quality guests that they had, but they wouldn't even need that. Literally just Peyton and Eli sitting there talking about football. Now, the guest interviews are cool. I'm good with it. I think that they definitely add a little something. But for me personally, I look at this program as one of the best in all of sports because it works because of their personality and how we know Peyton Manning and Eli Manning and the Manning family as consumers and viewers of football. Here's last night during the first attempted game-winning field goal.
Snap, kick, missed it. Oh, my goodness.
He missed it!
Oh, my goodness. You gotta be kidding me.
Man.
Wait, there's a flag.
Why?
What's the flag?
Why?
Wait, there's a flag in the end zone. In the end zone. 12 men on defense. Oh, my goodness. No way. There you go, right down the middle. Oh, my goodness. What a way to lose a game. Like that. Oh, my goodness.
You only have so many opportunities in the NFL. You think about it like this. Your business, especially if you're a franchise, but let's think about it from the player's perspective. You're literally only open for 17 weeks a year. That's it. That's the only time your business is open. Now we could talk about off-season training this and, some of that, and however you want to do it. That's totally fine. But you only get to have the doors of your business open. You could spend all the time preparing and do that all you want. 17 days a year. When you're an NFL franchise, an organization, your doors are only open 10 days a year. Think about that. 2 preseason games or 1 preseason game, 8 regular season games or 9 regular season games, depending on how the schedule turns for you. Like you cannot do this kind of stuff and lose football games. Like that's probably the worst way possible to lose a football game, by having too many men on the field during your field goal block formation. They had 11 guys on the line and 1 guy trailing behind. Like, who is responsible? How does that happen? How? Like, you gifted the Denver Broncos, of all clubs, a win. Like, that's such a bad loss for Buffalo. They can't get out of their own way. And I know what Ryan's saying. Josh Allen is a very good quarterback. There aren't too many teams in the league that would turn him down. Baltimore would turn him down. Cincinnati would turn him down. Kansas City would turn him down. Right? You start thinking about franchise quarterbacks. Jacksonville would probably turn him down. I think Detroit would turn him down right now. You start to really think about Josh Allen. It's like, yeah, he's got to stop turning the ball over. Guy can't stop doing it, though. He just can't stop doing it. And for me, I mean, I'll tell you who would take him, the Jets. The Jets would take him immediately. But my goodness, you got to be able to score more points than that against the Denver Broncos. You can't allow yourself to have a gaffe on special teams, a clerical/organizational failure, because you don't have the right, you got too many men on the field during a field goal block. Like, stuff like that is just preposterous. Just preposterous to me. Especially because of the limited opportunities you have in this league to make something happen. And it's a home game. It's a home game. That is terrible. And this is why little stuff like this, the Bills sitting at 500, the Broncos are 4-5. If it's the old Parcells, and I go back and forth on this a lot, you are what your record says you are. Like, you are your record. Like, that's what it is. Like the Buffalo Bills at 5-5. If Aaron Rodgers would have been healthy, this division is easily the Jets. Easily. I don't think Miami's that good. Their difference between the numbers that they're putting up, especially offensively, against good opponents versus bad opponents is drastically different. New England is a dumpster fire. This would have been the Jets division. Now, because it is such a quick turnaround, we'll get to the scoreboard a little bit later. We'll get you each and every game, and that's fine in Week 10. But in Week 11, as Russell Baxter pointed out, you have Bengals-Ravens on a short week on Thursday Night Football, Prime Video, 8:15. So think about that. We went to work yesterday. We came in today. We're going to go in tomorrow, and boom, Thursday Night Football is going to already be here, and it's a game that matters. That is incredible. And it's a big, big-time game as well between those two in the AFC North. All right, we're going to step aside. When we return, we had the Michigan basketball participating in the Gavitt game. So they were out there, and they got it, taking on St. John's and the new look St. John's under the direction of Rick Pitino. Plus, Michigan State will play Duke later on this evening in the Champions Classic. Yes. So we'll get to college hoops. The AP Top 25 is out next, so a lot of college hoops in the next segment. Jim Harbaugh spoke. College football Week 11 scoreboard. NFL Week 10 scoreboard. We're going to get back into the Lions' victory. We got a lot to do here on X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can stay up to date on the latest from Lansing 24/7 at MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. The latest news, press releases, and stories connected to every high school in the state of Michigan, available for you 24/7 from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Log on to MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. And if you're looking for archived boys and girls high school sports, MHSAA.TV. That's MHSAA.TV. 24/7, everything you need to know about high school sports in Michigan. Log on to MHSAA.com.
Earn bonus points with M-Perks at Meijer for just one more way to save this holiday season. Shop groceries, apparel, gifts, and more, and earn points on it all. And right now, earn 2 times the points for every $1 you spend on select Meijer brand food. Earn points every time you shop and redeem them anytime you want. Make Meijer your one-stop shop for everything you need this holiday season. And with M-Perks, you'll save even more. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
The Freddie the Pizza Man Foundation is dedicated to providing support to families and Michigan schools touched by autism. We invite you to join us in supporting these families and schools by making a donation at freddythepizzaman.com. With your donation, you can help provide essential resources that can make a real impact. Visit freddythepizzaman.com to make a donation and to learn more about the foundation's mission. That's FREDI thepizzaman.com. Together, we can make a difference.
Coming up later today at 3 on the Huge Show on the Michigan Sports Network, I'll deliver huge opinions on everything you're talking about.
Can't call in? Text us using the keyword sports radio and send it to 21000 or tweet us at XB Mornings. Now back to X's and Bros with Anthony Bellino here on the Michigan Sports Network.
McDaniel rocks it. Step back straight away.
Oh, is he having a ball? And two as well. And just sort of playing here. Step back, Jack. Nylon. Little fellow with the big time ticker.
Little fellow with the big time ticker. How about that guy, Doug McDaniel, folks? Bill Rafferty is a national treasure. Just do me a solid. Just turn down the crowd audio so that we can hear more Gus and more Bill. That's all I want. Speaking of basketball, that was on the college side, but on the NBA side, the game can change in an instant, no matter how the action unfolds. You know DraftKings Sportsbook has your back. This week, new customers can score $150 in bonus bets instantly for betting just $5 on basketball. Win or lose, you get an instant dub. Best of all, it's safe, secure, and reliable with 24/7 support. You can deposit, withdraw your cash wherever, whenever you want. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use the promo code HUGE. Promo code HUGE. New customers get $150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on basketball. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. Only using the promo code HUGE. The crown is yours. Now, if you or someone who knows a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline, 800-270-7117. Must be 21 or older, physically present in Michigan. Eligibility and deposit restrictions do apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. I do find it interesting that before they used to do do it within a week, and now they have to get down to the hour, probably because somebody complained because they didn't figure out that, hey, once you win, that cash is deposited, there's your week clock that runs right there. That's your week-long clock just started. Somebody probably complained, so now they have to do 168 hours. Like, that's crazy to me. All right, so last night, the Michigan Wolverines went on the road to take on St. John's in the Gavitt games. And the Gavitt games, obviously with their history, and Dan Gavitt in I was very surprised, as he is the vice president of men's basketball, said that postseason expansion is, quote, not necessarily inevitable, but the event's officials have to consider the impact of rapidly evolving, changing climates in collegiate sports. The Division I men's basketball committee is going to do their due diligence to consider every perspective and every angle. He was at the Purdue Xavier win. We probably won't hear from Dougie Fresh, as the Blue Blob had to go play Big Ten shooty hoops, and that's what happens. They lost 83-71. It's the national championship, right? You have to make sure the tournament is special, and as it's always been, and yet you have to consider the changes and things that are going on in the business conference realignment. You may have to look at the impact and what needs to be considered the forward-looking way rather than looking backwards. College athletics continues to evolve, and it's important to keep it contemporary. The NCAA recently did announce the changes to the NIT, which now guarantees 12 spots from teams in power conferences, mid-major coaches, commissioners, and radio hosts who have worked in mid-major athletics. People like myself, when we saw this news, we knew what that meant, and it's bad. And Gavitt said he's heard their disappointment, but reiterated the viability of the event, which should face competition from a new postseason basketball event as early as 2025. What could we possibly add to the CBI, the CIT, the NIT, and the tournament? I don't think there should be anything. It should be NCAA tournament. If you don't make that, you get into the NIT, and then if you don't make that, it's over. Your season is done. We don't need more tournaments. We don't. And that's one of the things that really bothers me about NCAA tournament expansion is that the field of 64 plus the first four, like we added 4 more teams. We're always going to be mad at the committee for how they select. We're always going to be barking about this team was overseeded, this team was underseeded, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, we don't need to have 96 teams. We don't. Like, I think that is a terrible idea. You know, does it stink for the mid-major if you don't win your conference tournament? Yeah. So why would you host a conference tournament? Plain and simple. Why would you do it? Just so you could be on TV the week before during conference tournament week? Like, no, we're not doing it. Whoever wins our regular season, they go to the tournament. There's our automatic bid. Do it that way. And be the best for 3 months instead of the best for 3 days. Cool. Problem solved. Problem solved. You know, do we necessarily need to have clubs that are 500 in Big Ten play get into the NCAA tournament? No. Just like, hey, look, more people are going to want to see Purdue. They're going to want to see Indiana. They're going to want to see Michigan State. They're going to want to see those teams versus seeing Buffalo and Northern Illinois. I'm sorry. Like, that's the fact of the matter. That's not rocket science. It's, I don't feel like I'm pointing out anything that you don't already know. So the Gavitt tip-off games take place, and it's just a little Big East, a little Big East, Big Ten matchup. You got big in your name. You get to go play in the game. It's fun. And Michigan goes and plays St. John's. And for the third consecutive time, Michigan now improves to 3-0. I'm going to, and I did last night, I bumped up my original tweet from their exhibition against Northwood. And it was Division II Northwood, and I knew that Northwood athletically, physically, spiritually just did not have the goods to be able to compete with Michigan. It's not a knock on Northwood. That's the difference between Division I and Division II. And in that exhibition, I saw what I thought was necessary to formulate an opinion on this team that has since been proved right 3 days in a row. We haven't got the conference play yet, right? There's still work to be done here. But this team is better than last year. No Kobe Buffkin, no Jet Howard, no Hunter Dickinson. No problem. They beat St. John's last night, 89-73. At one point in the game, it was a 30-point game in favor of Michigan. 30-point lead. They got some other guys in there at the end, like that's fine. George Washington III, his numbers coming down. I'm fine with that from a plane. He's just not ready yet. He's not. He's got a good-looking shot, and he's there to shoot, so that's cool and all, but he's not ready yet. Will Cheddar has been a delightful surprise. Nothing like a guy who could pick up 4 fouls in 17 minutes, but also be able to add 10 points. Trey Jackson didn't play a whole lot last night. 4 points, a steal, a block in only 11 minutes. He was 2 of 4 from the field. I think we're going to see more from him. He's going to get better. It's going to work. Just athletically, he's too gifted to not be out there. They just got to find some room for him to get into some space. Now, I want to talk to you about a guy by the name of Olivier Kemwa. And Kemwa played 29 minutes last night, had 9 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal. He is someone who is going to be pivotal to this team. And he finished with 9 points. He was 2 of 2 from 3. He was just 1 of 4 from the free throw line. That was surprising. However, he was 3 of 5 from the field in 29 minutes. Mature enough to not force to get his. Love that about him. Nimari Burnett, another transfer that came in, graduate senior, 21 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists on 8 of 13 shooting and 4 of 7 from 3. Terrence Williams, welcome back, Terrence Williams. He took a lot of flack the last year. As a junior, people were ready to shoot him into space, just launch him to the moon. And I understood their frustrations, but for me this year, he just looks so much more comfortable in this offense without all that other stuff surrounding the team. Terrace Reed had 5 points and 11 rebounds. He was 1 for 5 from the free throw line. Still a very poor shooting team from the free throw line. But Doug McDaniel, he had not only the team high, but also the game high. 26 points, 8 of 16 from the field. That's 50%. A perfect 8 of 8 from the stripe, 2 of 6 from 3. 26 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals. Some guy was in my Twitter mentions, talking poorly about Doug. I just won't hear it. I won't hear that. If you think that guy's not any good, then you're just a hater. There's nothing else. Like, you just hate the fact that he plays in Michigan. He is having an all-conference start to the year. Now, the competition's going to get better. They're going to have to play some different teams. The odds of them going 31 or 32-0 is pretty slim. They'll lose eventually. But I am so overly pleased with what we've seen from this club. On the 17th, 3 days from now, that's Friday, they'll get Long Beach State at home before a matchup against Memphis. So they've got at least, they got Memphis coming up, Oregon coming up, and then Indiana, Iowa in the fake portion of the Big Ten schedule before they get Eastern Michigan, then the Florida Gators, then McNeese to round out their non-conference schedule before it's all conference play beginning January 4th. But just an incredible start to the Michigan Wolverines season. This is right where I want them to be. Michigan's now won 11 straight games at Madison Square Garden, including second consecutive Big Ten tournament championship game in 2018. So 11 straight inside the Garden. Oh, I love that. Love that. So good for us. And what I liked about the post-game recap from the AP was that they said big picture, Michigan, maybe this team is much better than anticipated. Michigan was picked 11th in the Big Ten preseason poll, unranked in the top 25 for the first time in 4 years. In fact, the Wolverines didn't even receive any votes until getting 2 points in Monday's poll. Michigan lost its top 3 scorers from last season, 2 top 15 NBA draft picks, a preseason All-American big man, and Hunter Dickinson, who transferred to Kansas. I'm telling you, and I tried to help you. They took on the defending Big South champ in UNC Asheville, blew them out. The defending Horizon League champ, Youngstown State Penguins, blew them out. St. John's, the team selected 5th in the Big East preseason poll, blew them out. And final score not indicative of how out of hand that got in the second half. Just like that article said, just like I've been saying, like they are going to surprise some people. They are going to shock a lot of people. It's going to be like that because I love this team. I love that nobody talks about this team. I want it to stay that way. But they're going to garner more and more recognition. That's just what happens. And, it's the way the world works. Right? But when you're up a solid 20 points for what felt like a majority of the second half, like it's pretty drastic. Pretty drastic right there. Like that's an arse kicking. It was 71-48, 74-48. Like, dude, that's a lot. That's a big pit. That's 26 points. That's handling business right there. They'll get some hype, but they've got a team. They've got a club. They've got some leadership here that is more than ready to withstand reading their own newspaper clippings, in my opinion. Not worried about me, but worried about we. And I think that that's really evident in this team, and I think you can figure that out very fast when you start looking at teams and how they play together, how do they defend, how do they communicate on defense, all the little things that matter. You can figure out if somebody's about themselves or if they're about the team. And that's why I think that this year's team is better than last year. And I know, I get it. Yeah. Hey, and look, some guys are great for the NBA. Like Jet Howard played 1 year and went to the NBA. Great. Hunter Dickinson is in his 4th year of college basketball. Why? Because sometimes it just doesn't translate. It is what it is. If I was Hunter Dickinson's size, yes, I'm going to enjoy the 4-year college experience. I have no complaint on that whatsoever. I think he's doing the right thing. You will never get back the time on campus that you're having right now. Then, if the NBA, if it's a second round, like it's time to really start to dabble with a lot of your options here because, do you want to develop in the G League? Is there room for you on an NBA floor? Now your age starts to work against you. Okay, you're 22. Would you contemplate going overseas for a season or two just to see how it is and work on your game and then come back? I don't know. I don't know. It's a lot to figure out. Me, yeah, like Greece, absolutely. Like, yeah, take me to the Balkans immediately, please. Now, that was a big game last night for my team. Big game tonight for your team. Michigan State and Duke. Michigan State dropped all the way to 18th. State Farm's Champions Classic. They're 1-1, taking on the 1-1 Duke Blue Devils, who started off their season with a big-time win over Dartmouth and then lost by 5 to 12th-ranked Arizona. The Dukies. Duke, Michigan State, Kansas, Kentucky. This is the matchup. 7 o'clock on ESPN. What will we learn, if anything, about the Michigan State Spartans in tonight's game? At some point, Michigan State is going to have to hit a perimeter shot. The fact that they struggled to do that at home is what makes me most concerned about this right now. That's what is the biggest question. Now, Duke's a 3.5-point favorite. Total points set at 141.5. So we're looking at needing 71 points per team. I think we could do that. Duke covering 3.5. I think we can do that too, because if Michigan State can't shoot it at home, why do we expect them to go on the road to the United Center with a completely different backdrop, visually speaking, and expect them to be able to knock down a three? Like, you'd think at first it's just an anomaly. Like, oh, okay, we were 1 for 20. Like, oh, okay, that's weird. That's weird. And then you play Southern Indiana. It's not like you're not getting good looks. Like, you're getting good looks. Your offense is producing the shots you want. But you go 1 for 11 against them at home? Somebody's got to make a three at some point. I don't know if Michigan State has the horses to contend with Duke. We'll find out tonight, but it's going to help if somebody can make a shot. I just don't expect them to do so when you've struggled to do it at home, and that's where that's where you're practicing at. That's what you're, most used to. And now you got to go to the United Center, the home of the Chicago Bulls. Yeah, look up into the rafters and see all those NBA championships. You got to look up in the rafters, see Jordan, and then you got to come out here and do what? Somebody's got to make a three. Somebody at some point. And I don't need you to shoot 40% from three, but it would be real helpful if you'd shoot better than 4%. I know that there's not a lot of concern or a lot of panic. At least I haven't heard that yet. And we got a couple of Michigan State regulars that come into the store, and they don't seem overly concerned. I think they're more just disappointed that because of the way the football season has panned out, for basketball to start the season with a loss to James Madison, I think that's probably what's most frustrating, because they were really looking forward to this season. And Michigan State basketball, I've heard a lot of wait till basketball, wait till that happens. You hear a lot of that. I get it. I was very excited about Michigan State as well, just because of their depth on their roster. But at the end of the day, make or miss league, you guys got to make some shots. You're going to have to. Otherwise, you got Butler around the corner. Alcorn State's a win. Arizona, Georgia Southern, that's a win. Couple Big Ten games before you run into Baylor. Oakland, that's a win. Stony Brook's a win. Indiana State's a win. It'll be some tough sledding here going into Big Ten conference play. I'll step aside. When we return, College Football Week 11 Scoreboard Plus, Jim Harbaugh spoke. We'll get to it next.
Bill Simonson here for my friends at Urban U. They're Michigan's best med spa. Now, they have multiple locations in the Grand Rapids metro area, and you'll find an Urban U location in Northville on the east side of the state. And this is a message for any guy listening right now. How often do you think about your skin health care? Well, Urban U has multiple options that could help you immediately. Whether you work out a lot, you run, your job requires a lot of sweating, you need to think about your skin health care, and Urban U can help you, hydrofacials, and so much more, or even your kids. Think about that. If your son, your daughter's playing a lot of sports and they're having trouble with their skin health care, Urban U has options that can help today. Just go to theurbanu.com to find out more. Locations in the Grand Rapids metro area and on the east side of the state in Northville, go to theurbanu.com.
Save on Thanksgiving in one stop at Meijer. Get a Meijer Grade A frozen turkey, 59 cents per pound, limit one. Plus all the potatoes, stuffing, and tasty pies you could want. And preview Black Friday deals in the Meijer app. Deals so good, you just gotta celebrate.
Get Thanksgiving in one stop and shop holiday deals this week at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app.
Friday, December 1st at Soaring Eagle Casino.
Single record of the year is Better Man.
The album of the year, Killin' Time.
Come on up again, Clint Black.
Clint Black with special guest Josh Grayson. Tickets start at $40. On sale now at the box office and etix.com. Clint Black and Josh Grayson. Friday, December 1st at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort.
Huge here for Van Andel Institute Purple Community. Now, they're a grassroots fundraising network powered by the volunteers who support VAI's mission to improve health now and in the future. Learn more at purplecommunity.org.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Huge here. AB's doing a heck of a job, and I'm ready to drop some huge opinions about what he's talking about later today at 3 on the Michigan Sports Network.
The holidays start here at Kroger with a variety of options to celebrate traditions old and new. Whether you're making a traditional
morning, everyone.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
It's a good morning. Wake up to a brand new day. Hello. Good morning. Good morning, Vietnam.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Welcome back here on this Tuesday. It's the 14th day of November 2023. Great to have you riding along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio. From Traverse City down to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, and worldwide on the iHeartRadio app. We say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you to join the program at any time. You can text the keyword Sports Radio. Send that to 21,000, Sports Radio to 21000. By your Supercenter guest line, 866-838-4843, 866-838-4843. We're on Twitter at XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros, and, of course, good morning to our television audience as well on BCSN and streaming live on our YouTube page at MichiganSportsNetwork.com. To that, to find our website, xbmornings@gmail.com is our fan feedback email inbox. You can find us all individually on Twitter. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key. Ben Glaze is at The Ben Glaze. And I'm Anthony Bellino at AEC Bellino. Dougie Fresh said, solid performance from UM last night. Impressive shot making, underrated component for them. Phil Martelli, guy, is a Hall of Fame coach. Every time somebody makes a shot, coaches get way too much credit when things are going right and way too much blame when things are going wrong. You start making shots, all that goes out the window. All that goes out. I'm not taking anything away from Uncle Phil. I love Uncle Phil. He's sensational. But you make shots, you don't have to worry too much about who's calling the play. X-Men hung tough at Purdue. I'm encouraged, even with the loss, team was cobbled together. See lots of nice pieces that just need time to gel. Oh, no blue blob for you, Doug. That's what happens when you got to play Big Ten basketball, Doug. It's not the Big East. It's the Big Ten. Man. Trying to tell you. Stockholm, Sweden games, got that going on today. Or not today, but that'll be Thursday. So they're out there on the ice getting things prepped, skating around a little bit. We've got Detroit versus the Ottawa Senators, NHL Network, 2 p.m. on Thursday. So some good mid-afternoon viewing. What else is going on in the world of sports? We'll try to get you all caught up with all the happenings. We'll do so right now in the headlines.
Big news.
I have a little news flash.
Let's check the headlines.
No, it's real news for once.
The biggest stories of the local, regional, and national news.
This is huge news.
All right, huge news. The Lions are 7-2 off to their best start since 2014 after they beat the LA Chargers 41-38. More on that coming up in today's program. New York Jets have gone 11 straight quarters without a touchdown, but they're not going to blame the quarterback. In the latest defense of Zach Wilson, Robert Saleh said Zach is, quote, actually playing pretty good. It's hard to make changes just to pacify something, especially when someone is not deserving of that. Oh, boy. This is what happens. You can't hitch your wagon to a lame duck quarterback. Never should have drafted him. Jaguars wide receiver Zay Jones has been arrested on domestic battery charges. Misdemeanor domestic battery charge on Monday. That's not good. It's 6:03 Eastern time in the afternoon on a charge of domestic battery causing bodily harm, a first-degree misdemeanor. The Jaguars said they're aware of this situation and are in the midst of gathering information. Jones has missed 6 games, including the past 4 this season, because of right knee injury. He has 5 catches, 55 yards, and 2 touchdowns in 3 games. Zay Jones might be saying happy trails to him. The Saints are signing Jason Pierre-Paul. I once met him in a club in Tampa. The hand is much more gruesome than you think. The 34-year-old has not played a game this season, most recently playing 14 games for the Baltimore Ravens. Last season, he had 3 sacks, now signing with the New Orleans Saints. The Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson undergoing an MRI on his left ankle. Can this guy stay healthy at all? The Rams expect quarterback Matthew Stafford to start against the Seattle Seahawks. We all could be L.A. Rams fans and Matthew Stafford supporters taking on the Seahawks. We need them to take another L, and that would be a great time to do it. The Bucs' Jay Crowder is going to be sidelined for 2 months with an injury. 2 months. Oh, my goodness. You kidding me? He's got a left adductor and abdominal tear. That's not good at all. The sources say that the Nuggets head coach Michael Bellino is going to be one of the highest-paid coaches in the NBA. It always helps when you have MVP Nikola Jokic on your team. That does make life a whole hell of a lot easier. De'Aaron Fox sparking the Kings with 28 points in his return from injury. Great to have him back on the court. A 132-120 win over the Cleveland Cavaliers last night. Domantas Sabonis, Arvydas' kid, had 23 points, 10 assists, and 9 rebounds for the Sacramento Kings. How about them? Keegan Murray, a season-high 25 points, had 5 threes. Henrik Lundqvist among 3 goalies inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. Congratulations to him. That is exciting. Very, very cool. Henrik Lundqvist. Wow, the first Swedish goaltender to be inducted into the Hall. Good for him. Very, very excited for Henrik and for the entire class. That's kind of cool. Kind of cool as well. According to documents and people getting fired, the Power Five right now owes $146 million to fired football coaches since 2022. You have Brian Harsin, fired from Auburn, getting $15.5. $15 million for Scott Frost, who was canned at Nebraska. Guy named Jeff Collins was fired from Georgia Tech, getting 11.4. Paul Chris from Wisconsin, getting 11. 8.7 going to Carl Durrell, fired from Colorado. 4.5 going to Herm Edwards from Arizona State. Zach Arnett getting 4 from Mississippi State. And of course, that is not those guys. I mean, come on. You had Gus Malzahn, $21.7 million from Auburn. You had the Jimbo Fisher deal. That was massive. I mean, that's just a huge chunk of change. When will the boosters stop boosting? Speaking of that, Oregon's head coach Dan Lanning shot down the speculation that he could be a Texas A&M's. He could be a candidate for Texas A&M's coaching vacancy. Gave a really good statement. This is how you put it to bed. If there's rumors circulating about you leaving, this right here is how you get rid of this and just be done with it, and Oregon can now move forward.
These moments, and they don't do anything or don't say anything, 1, because they don't want egg on their face when they decide to do something else, right? 2, because they're concerned about things that I'm not concerned about, like getting a better contract. Like, I'm taken care of extremely well here at Oregon. I have the resources I need here at Oregon to be really, really successful. I'm not motivated by that. I'm motivated by winning. I'm motivated by being elite here. And our players deserve my complete focus. Our fans deserve the best product on the field. So it's outside noise. It didn't matter before. It doesn't matter now. I'll continue to say it till I'm blue in the face. I want to be here at Oregon. That hasn't changed. That won't change.
That's what it takes. And as an Oregon fan, I actually believe the guy. Plus, Dan Lanning's 37 years old. So think about that. 37 years old, multimillionaire, leader of a Power 5 program that's top 10 right now. Like, yeah, I mean, that's what else do you honestly want if you're Dan Lanning? And what is Texas A&M going to offer you that's better than Oregon? The weather? Maybe. New AP Top 25 is out. So this is interesting. Kansas is 1, Purdue is 2, Arizona 3, Marquette is 4, UConn is number 5, followed by Houston, Tennessee, Creighton, Duke, FAU. Gonzaga checks in at 11, Miami at 12, Texas A&M, Arkansas, and Baylor round out your top 15, followed by USC, Kentucky, Michigan State checks in at 18. 19 is Texas, North Carolina is 20, Villanova, Alabama, Illinois at 23, James Madison, and Colorado. So shout out to James Madison having a great start and a great fall right now for their athletic program. Only 3 Big Ten teams in the top 25. Michigan is on the cusp, baby. It's going to happen. Now, tonight, after Michigan's 89-73 win over St. John's last night, you'll get the Detroit Pistons hosting the Atlanta Hawks tonight at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock over on ESPN, number 9 Duke, number 18 Michigan State in the Champions Classic. Toledo versus Bowling Green over on ESPN 2. The Deuce for the Battle of I-75. 9-1 Rockets, 6-4 Falcons. and Toledo taking on Wright State in men's shooting hoops as well. We'll step aside. More X's and Bros after this here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Bill Simonson here for my good friend Josh Garvey. Now, he is a managing shareholder at Br0's, soon to be Doran Mayhew at the end of the year. And with the merger, there is growth and a chance for you to fill an executive or other high-level finance-related roles, either at Br0 here in downtown Grand Rapids or over at the Doran Mayhew World Headquarters in Troy, or at any of their offices across the country and around the world. They have a national specialized talent pool with ideal candidates for long-term placement, ongoing support for post-placement success. So if you're looking for that next chapter in your professional career, talk to Josh Garvey and the team at Br0. Easiest way, you can call Br0, ask for Josh Garvey, or go to their website, BEENEGARTR.com, or look for Br0, soon to be Doran Mayhew, on Facebook and on Twitter.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. It's the Blaze Through Fall Jeep Giveaway every Saturday in November. 2 hourly winners, 5 to 10 p.m., take home a cool $500 cash. At 11 p.m. each night, one lucky guest wins a hot new Jeep Renegade or $15,000. The Blaze Through Fall Jeep Giveaway. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Van Andel Institute Purple Community is a grassroots fundraising network powered by the dedicated volunteers who support VAI's mission to improve human health now and in the future. When you raise funds through the Van Andel Institute Purple Community, 100% of the proceeds go directly to the Institute's research into diseases like cancer and Parkinson's, as well as VAI's science education programs. Learn how you can get involved at purplecommunity.org.
This is X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Folks, golf season might be coming to a close, but Matt Golden and his team are still ready to welcome you with open arms to the beautiful Tullymore Golf Resort, Canadian Lakes, Michigan. Offering not one but two championship golf courses, Tullymore and St. Ives, located about an hour north of Grand Rapids, 30 minutes west of Mount Pleasant. It's up north golf without the drive. Plus, it's got the lodging to be able to cater to you, your family, your partner, your foursome, 400 of your friends. Tullymore not only features top-line golfing experiences, but also top-line accommodations and the perfect space for your wedding, event, reception, or group outing. Not too early to start thinking about your golf trip in 2024 as well. Visit TullymoreGolf.com, TullymoreGolf.com, or call 1-800-972-4837, 1-800-972-4837. Book your stay and play at Tullymore today. You know, pretty interesting here. Weather outside is frightful. Sunny and a high of 58. Might try to squeeze in one more. I still have one more coupon for league night, and might try to squeeze that in tomorrow because it looks like next week we're going to be sub 50 here consistently. So we might have our last couple of good days with, decent, somewhat decent weather. And tonight we'll have a high of today we'll have a high of 53. And it's going to be a cold one outside at the Deut for the Battle of I-75. All right, the coach, Kyle Barlow, just texted me. He said, hey, I'm good at 7:35. And I said, you're good at 7:35? Then we are good at 7:35. So we'll talk to the coach coming up here as well. Quote, if Michigan were to leave the Big Ten, do you think it would be best to become independent like Notre Dame? Matt on Facebook. Matt, I really wouldn't worry about that conversation. I don't foresee Michigan leaving the Big Ten. And, in fact, I get that people are upset. Let me be pretty honest here, though. I don't like the message that a lot of that sent, some of that rhetoric out there about, well, we'll just leave. We'll go play in the SEC. Well, the SEC is in cahoots with ESPN. Those guys are business partners. ESPN, the same ESPN, putting out the hit pieces. So if you don't want to, and yes, I say hit pieces because let me ask you this, and be 100% honest with me, and be honest with yourself. Because there's no way at over a 7% interest rate right now you could be happy with the way that things are looking in our country. There's no way. There's no way that you can look at the cost of gas, inflation. There's no way you can look at this and say this is better than it was. No way. It's just preposterous. You can hate the other guy too. That's fine by me. But let's just be honest about it. Had the other guy's son been accused of half of the things that the current guy's son is accused of, it would be in the news every day of the week. You know that, and I know that. We both know that. If the other guy would have been getting paid from companies located in Eastern Europe where we're funding proxy wars, you know for a fact that would be everyday news. But what's on the news is the fact that in a state that is also a resort that has 126 bedrooms and is 62,000 square feet in a prime piece of real estate near South Florida, somebody in New York decided that was only worth between $18 and $37 million, which is, I could get on Zillow right now and show you 50 homes that are going to be $18 million. And they do not have 126 bedrooms. It is a witch hunt. I see a lot of parallels here. I see a lot of parallels. This is me. This is what I do. I want to look. I want to see. I want to ask questions. I see a lot of parallels with what's going on in Michigan. Now, to that original message, I don't like the idea of, hey, we're being investigated. We don't believe we're wrong. We're just going to leave. I don't like that. It just something about that just doesn't sit well with me. Let's go through. Let's fight it. I would like to stay in the Big Ten. I had my moment, too, where I was like, yo, double bird the Big Ten. Let's go independent, right? I had a moment. I said, wait a minute now. I got in trouble, so I called my dad to get me out. Do you know who my dad is? That's kind of what that sounds like. You know what I mean? Let's just stick it out. The Big Ten and the NCAA got nothing on Harbaugh. There's no way to attach him to any of this, so they suspended him. Michigan should go after the commissioner of the Big Ten, and they should use all of their powers to do so. And it should be pretty glaringly obvious that guy doesn't make it out. And then we can go from there. I don't want to flex muscle by saying, well, we're just going to take our ball and go home. I don't want to, no. Let's stay on the court. Let's stay on the court and bludgeon them. And then everybody else can be left to pick up the pieces. But I think Tony Petitti is public enemy number one in Ann Arbor. And if I'm Michigan, I'm staying in the conference and I'm proving a point. You're a heavyweight. There's two of you in this conference. Start swinging, right? Whether you agree or disagree, I just don't want to go, oh, my God, my house is on fire. I'm running away. Like, let's grab a hose. Like, you got a little grease fire going on. Get the towels out. Where's the baking soda? You know what I mean? Like, let's put it out. Let's stop all this. We don't need to run and say, well, we're just going to leave the Big Ten. Why? So I'm not saying that Matt is saying that. I think Matt's question is good because there was a lot of that talk over the weekend. I just don't think it's necessary. I think we stick our foot in the ground, much like Blake Corum, and we run it right at the Big Ten 30 straight times. And we hammer him. And we go after Tony Petitti. We make it personal with this new commish and see, you know what, if Michigan gets a commissioner of the conference removed, that's a pretty big statement. So let it swing a little bit. You know what I mean? Let's go that route. I'd much rather go that route than run away because, the going got tough, so let's just run. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Let's fight. Why? We got nothing else to do. Basketball team's good. Football team's undefeated. Let's fight it out. Let's just throw hands. It's good. It's good for you. William Wallace going out there to pick a fight. All right. Let's get into the college football scoreboard for Week 11 because we missed this yesterday because the phone lines were buzzing. In the Big Ten, it was number 1, Ohio State, 38-3 winners over Michigan State. Can't believe Ohio State couldn't score in the fourth quarter. Surrendered 3 points to Michigan State. I'm continuing to change the narrative. That program, that team's underrated. However, they do have Marvin Harrison Jr., 7 catches, 149, 2 touchdowns. That's pretty good. You know who didn't have that? Anybody on Michigan's team. Didn't even pass for 100 yards. How crazy is that? Blake Corum led the way with 26 carries and 145 yards and 2 scores as number 3 Michigan went on the road and thunder punched Penn State 24-15. Number 22 Iowa, 22-0 winners over Rutgers. Congratulations to Iowa for scoring more than 20 points. That's always a major accomplishment for them. It took overtime, but the Illinois Fighting Illini, 48-45 winners over Indiana. Illinois is now 5-5 on the year. Paddock threw for 507 yards and 4 touchdowns for the Illini. Maryland, 13-10 winners over Nebraska in the Corn. Purdue was a 49-30 winner against Minnesota in West Lafayette. And Northwestern, how about this? 5-5 with an interim head coach. The first time in Northwestern's 1,000-year history they've had a first-year head coach that has won 5 games or more. Is that not preposterous? They went on the road, beat Wisconsin 24-10. Where Anthony was wrong, Wisconsin. Oh, I look bad for that. They have been not up to my standard of football. I thought they'd be much better. Now, in the top 25, number 11, Louisville beat Virginia 31-24. Everybody beats Virginia. They're 2-8 on the season. Ole Miss went on the road to Georgia. They lost 52-17. The Lane train came to a halt. My goodness. Florida State, 27-20 winners over the U. Big-time rivalry matchup there in the ACC. The Noles are still 10-0 and undefeated. Number 5, Washington beat Utah 35-28. The Utes were ranked 18th at the time. Oregon beat USC 36-27. Number 7, Texas, 29-26 winners on the road at TCU. TCU 4-6 on the year. Scary hours there for the Longhorns. Number 8, Alabama, 49-21 winners over Kentucky. I'd be very surprised if Alabama is not 5 or 6 in the rankings tonight. Oregon State, 62-17 winners over Stanford. Stanford stinks. Number 14, Missouri, 36-7 winners over number 13, Tennessee. Goodbye, Volunteers. UCF upset over Oklahoma State, 45-3. Are you serious? Texas Tech beat number 16, Kansas, 16-13. Get Kansas out of the top 25. Oklahoma, ranked number 17th in the country, beat West Virginia, 59-20. Number 19, LSU over Florida. What a big-time number here, 52-35. Number 21, Arizona beat Colorado 34-31. Tulane topped Tulsa 24-22. North Carolina beat Duke 47-45. Double OT in that game. In Kansas State, 59-25 winners over Baylor. We'll step aside. We'll come back. We'll talk to the coach, Cal Barlow. He joins us next here on Br0's Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can stay up to date on the latest from Lansing 24/7 at MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. The latest news, press releases, and stories connected to every high school in the state of Michigan, available for you 24/7 from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Log on to MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. And if you're looking for archived boys and girls high school sports, MHSAA.TV. That's MHSAA.TV. 24/7, everything you need to know about high school sports in Michigan. Log on to MHSAA.com.
Save on Thanksgiving in one stop at Meijer. Get a Meijer Grade A frozen turkey, 59 cents per pound, limit one. Plus all the potatoes, stuffing, and tasty pies you could want. And preview Black Friday deals in the Meijer app. Deals so good, you just gotta celebrate. Get Thanksgiving in one stop and shop holiday deals this week at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app.
The Freddie the Pizza Man Foundation is dedicated to providing support to families and Michigan schools touched by autism. We invite you to join us in supporting these families and schools by making a donation at FreddieThePizzaMan.com. With your donation, you can help provide essential resources that can make a real impact. Visit FreddieThePizzaMan.com to make a donation and to learn more about the foundation's mission. That's FREDI, Together, we can make a difference.
You're listening to Michigan's statewide morning show, X's and Bros, right here on the Michigan Sports Network.
You know, in the NBA, the game can change in an instant, but no matter how the action unfolds, you know at DraftKings Sportsbook, they have your back. This week, new customers can score $150 instantly in bonus bets for just betting $5 on basketball. Win or lose, you get an instant dub. Best of all, it's safe, secure, and reliable with 24/7 support. You can deposit, withdraw your cash whenever, wherever you want. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use the promo code HUGE. Promo code HUGE. New customers can get $150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on basketball. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook, only using the promo code HUGE. The crown is yours. If you or somebody knows a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline, 800-270-7117. 21 plus, physically present in Michigan. Eligibility and deposit restrictions to apply. See bonus bets expiring in 168 hours after issuance. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. That's Ben and Ryan. I'm Anthony. Join us on the horn right now. A real Michigan man, Concordia alum, did his GA years under John Beilein at the University of Michigan, now patrolling the sidelines at Ohio University with his good buddy Jeff Bowles, our good buddy Kyle Barlow, the coach. Find him on Twitter at Kyle Barlow4. Send your kids recruiting tapes there. Coach Barlow, my friend, how are you?
I'm great, man. Sorry if my voice was a little raspy, much like the head football coach. You know, I'm not sick though. As you know, this body is a temple where viruses come to die. You know, do a couple push-ups, eat an apple, move on with your day. What? We got some great sound bites yesterday, didn't we?
We got some great sound bites. Wait a minute. Are you actually under the weather, or is this a case of like, no, you're like it's early in the season and your voice hasn't gotten to the fact that you're trying to call out the opposition's plays as it's happening?
I think that's more accurate on Saturday. Not that I would steal signs or anything or steal play calls. No, nobody would do that. That's unheard of in college athletics, Bellino. So more so just shouting our own plays or shouting instructions. And then before the game at Cleveland State on Saturday, shouting at the TV at the Penn State. Watching Sharon Moore and the Michigan Wolverines, take care of business. And then Sunday night, yelling at the TV when Montgomery's breaking off an 80-yard run with a lead blocker of Jamison Williams out there. So a lot of yelling going on. So not sick. Again, I might have a virus like Jim Harbaugh, but this is a body where viruses come to die,
I love that. I love that it's all mental, right? It is how your brain reacts. I love this. I think that this is fantastic, right? You have to view your immune system, right? You have to mentally wire your brain that you are tougher than a brick, right? You're tougher than a cinder block, tougher than a $2 steak, if you will. Let's start then on the you mentioned Saturday afternoon. I don't know. With Manny Diaz and his little, these are signs, the little video, that was cute. How do you as a defensive coordinator allow a team to run it 30 consecutive times in the second half and lose a football game and not have any answer in order to stop the run? I think that is so damning for James Franklin in this Penn State team that if I were them, I might even just cancel my season. Talk about leaving the Big Ten. They should leave the Big Ten.
Yeah, I mean, is it James Franklin or is it Michigan or is it a little bit of both, right? Like Michigan said, look, this is the way we're going to do it. And credit Sharon Moore, man. I mean, that takes some big old cojones to say we're not even going to throw a pass. Like, hey, we might have a game plan coming in, but I'm going to read this rhythm of the game and I'm going to adjust, which is something that I guess if you want to talk to Penn State about, they probably didn't adjust as well as Michigan, right? Michigan's adjustment was like, look, they're in the backfield every time we drop back, right? Like, let's just keep running counters. Let's keep running these zone splits, right, and keep getting up the field to design quarterback runs. So I thought really, really, really good adjustment by Sharon Moore in Michigan. And that's what they've been known for, right? That third quarter, they still outscore teams. Joel Klatt talks about the boa constrictor, right? But when you adjust at halftime, a lot of people are like, oh, you adjusted because you knew the signals. Like, no, I think he's just, a good football team makes the adjustments. I thought Michigan did. So shout out him, shout out Sharon. And then, hey, I forgot one more. Shout out Phil Martelli last night in the Garden.
The Garden.
Look, what is with these? And then you mentioned the Northwestern interim coach. Like, hey, Coach Bowles, what's up, baby? Teams are winning with interims. Come on, baby, let's go.
The first time in radio history that an assistant coach has ever told his head coach just to skip a game and hire me real quick. I love that. I love that. I love Jeff Bowles. He doesn't even know who I am, but I still love him anyways. You could tell that guy in Michigan, he really loves you, and we can carry on with our lives. That way, the next time I see him, he could give me a hug. Do you think he would hug me?
Yeah, he would. He would.
He would?
It reminds me of Friday Night Lights, because I can't go a segment without a movie reference. But y'all want to win? Put Booby in. Like, y'all want to win? Put your interim coach in, man. Let's go.
All right. Back to Michigan real quick. And I guess what really is up for debate at this point, for all the people that are mad, when you look back at Desmond Howard put Stephen A. Smith's head on the spike for our Game of Thrones reference here. He did. He's those who, hand out the judgment must swing the sword. And Desmond Howard swung it, and Stephen A. cowered. He had no answer for it because Desmond Howard brought up the point that halftime of Michigan, Ohio State the last couple of years have been close games or Ohio State in the lead. And then brought up the fact that Michigan came out in the second half and just dominated. And that doesn't have really anything to, especially when you have the Joe Moore Award winner, which I didn't think they're the best offensive line in the country. We found that out in the college football playoff, or they just had really bad days in consecutive semifinal games. However, you're winning the battle in the trenches. Like, when it comes down to it, physicality in football matters, and that's where they are dominating. And that Michigan looked rough early on. I mean, Chop Robinson was getting around that right tackle fast. I mean, it wasn't even close. Like, my man could not block him at all. And what's the best way to neutralize that? Well, run right at him, right? And let your running back make the decision based upon where that end is going. If he's going outside, I'm going to cut back in. If he goes inside, I'm going to cut out, and we'll go from there. I think that Michigan did a better job adjusting. I think that Michigan dominated in the trenches, both sides of the football. Michigan's a better team, and other people can just be mad about it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it was a statement game, and they said play angry, and no longer can you have they didn't play anybody because they went on the road.
No, well, now hold on. Stephen A. Smith told me that Penn State, that's not a good win now because Penn State's not any good. However, that was used as a resume building win that got Ohio State ranked at number 1 when they also beat not only the no longer any good Penn State, but the fraud that is Notre Dame.
Yeah, no doubt, and that's exactly my point, and that's why you have, like, in basketball compared. That's why you have the net and you have this system, because it's not like the AP poll. The AP poll is so, like, it's laughable because it's Georgia's number 1 no matter what because they haven't been knocked down. Okay, I get that logic, but that really doesn't have any relevance on the 2023 football season. The college football playoff, same thing. Like, they have the 2 best wins now, but those can't keep carrying over once those other teams start to struggle. Mostly Notre Dame, right? So it's like I agree with you that Penn State is a good football team. Anybody to say that they're not, obviously doesn't watch the games. You're probably talking a top 5 defense in college football. The only problem is they went against probably the other two of the top 5 defenses as well. And those both Ohio State and Michigan have slightly better offenses, or at least a better quarterback, right? So you have that factor. Yeah, no doubt. And then it's like, okay, now that win at Notre Dame, like it's all irrelevant. Everybody, it's for talk radio, and that's what you do. But at the end of the day, it's going to be the winner of Michigan, Ohio State is going to represent the Big Ten. And there's really you can compare scores, you can do all that stuff. But at the end of the day, that's what's going to happen. That's why I really don't care about any of these rankings right now. It doesn't matter.
I was I understood people's frustration and might have had a moment of my own talking to Gian, my son. Over the weekend when he was asking about, like, what is I had to send him that audio too, and his entire family was just laughing. I sent it to his sisters, his brother. They thought that was the funniest thing ever. Gian, he was not amused. But as I was telling my son, because he was like, "What's this talk about? Michigan leaving the Big Ten?" I didn't like the idea that Michigan fans had said, "Oh, okay, you want to do this," and it kind of felt like, who my dad is. And I didn't like that very much. And I was just like, you know what? If anything, dig your feet in, you fight this to the death, and you try to go after Tony Petitti, the commissioner now, and see if you can't get him replaced, because that's the ultimate power move right there. But you don't want to run and cower and say we're going to flee to the SEC or we're going to go independent like Notre Dame and the Big Ten needs us. Yeah, the Big Ten does need you, but they're getting some good West Coast brands, and our schedule is going to be awesome next year. So why don't we just try to bury the guy in charge?
you know what? Like I had a little different. I heard you say that last segment. I had a little different take on it. You know, and the whole leaving the Big Ten thing I think is ludicrous. But I understand why people want to say it. Here's my take on it. Like, what did you want? As you know, look at it, Michigan fans. What did you want the Big Ten to do? Like, did you want them to do just nothing? Did you want them to punish? Like, we got the in-between that nobody's happy punishment, and it's going to court anyways. Yes, it cost you coach a game against Penn State, but guess what? You didn't need it. Now we're good, right? So it's like, okay, this injunction is probably going to happen. He's probably going to coach against Ohio State. Like, the Big Ten had to protect their brand as well, and Tony Petitti had to do that. And if you look at it objectively, he really had to, and that's all the power he had. Now, you can argue due process, you can argue all these things, but as an observer, and I know fan is, you know, short for fanatic, so you want to go, oh, he's got to go, Tony Petitti, public enemy number one. I get all that, but at the end of the day, like, it's like The Wire, man. You know, it's one of my favorite shows of all time. It's all in the game, man. And that means, like, look, this is the battle. This is the arena we're playing in. We know you broke rules, all that stuff. Michigan's going to have to pay. Now it's unprecedented to do during the season, but it's all in the game, man. You're gonna come out with a scathing statement. We're gonna come out with a scathing statement. You know, you're gonna do this. You're gonna do this. But guess what? The Michigan needs the Big Ten. The Big Ten needs Michigan.
Fair and honest. That's what we do. It's Coach Barlow to bring me, you know, level-headed. In years from now, when the two of us are sitting high atop a giant building, maybe in downtown Detroit or whatever, and he's now co-hosting the program. Years from now, it's a good yin and yang balance here, because I was pretty fired up. I'm not gonna lie, Coach. I was pretty aggravated, upset. It's nice for you to bring that down to say that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna provide some perspective here. They had to do something. I guess if I was Tony Petitti, because the NCAA had kind of already admitted, like, yeah, we got nothing that links Harbaugh to this, say, hey, our investigation is ongoing. However, we're not going to be able to come to a conclusion at this point of the season. It's not. We know that that's not going to make the mob on social media happy, but it is what it is. Like, you can't send somebody to jail without a trial.
Yeah, but my point is, I get it, but my point is, I think he had to come out and do something. Now, the Friday timing was kind of Bush League. But
Bush League.
Do something, knowing that Michigan will probably get a TRO on it, right? And he's probably going to end up coaching. So you know what? It saves him from the other 13 members. And I know, like, people are like, well, you shouldn't let who's a Kentucky and Vanderbilt, you know, push around Alabama. Like, that wouldn't happen. Like, guys, that's not what's happening. He's a first-year commissioner. He had to do something. So he's like, look, I'm not going to make Michigan happy, regardless what I do. I'm not going to make the Big Ten happy, regardless what I do. Let me do this, knowing like dang well that it'll probably get lifted anyways. He's probably going to coach, and nobody's going to be happy. If you ask anybody from the rest of the Big Ten, coaches and athletic directors, and they're being honest, and when that punishment came out, and you ask them if they're happy, what do you think they're saying, Bellino?
Probably made us all look bad.
Yeah, they're good. He gets to coach during the week. What's the point? What are we doing here? So he can coach and game plan during the week, and he'll sit in his at the Holiday Inn breakfast in State College and watch the game, right? Like, what are we doing here? So that's what they're saying. Michigan fans are outraged. We're grabbing the pitchforks, right? But it's like, at the end of the day, he had to do something, knowing dang well it probably wouldn't hold up, and Jim Harbaugh will probably be on the sideline against Ohio State.
Wow. I mean, man, I just have so many thoughts. I looked at the clock and I said, wow, we could go for hours on this. All right, I do need to shift gears. How good is Michigan basketball?
I like them a lot. I don't think St. Joe's is great, or St. John's, I'm sorry.
St. Joe's ain't great either.
Yeah, all respect, Phil Martelli. St. John's, I don't think they're great. But you know what? It's not that they're winning. It's how they're winning right now, Bellino. And if you look at last year, you know, us included, losing to Central Michigan, winning against Ohio in overtime, like, that ain't happening. They're smacking Youngstown State, who is a top 2 team in the Horizon pick, which they're a pretty good team. They're smacking UNC Asheville, which I told you they have probably one of the best mid-major players in the country. Michigan completely neutralized them in foul trouble.
And they got the Tennessee transfer, Drew Pember, and UNC Asheville starting 3 super seniors.
That's what I'm saying. And it's like, it's how they're winning. Then you go on the road. Now, we all know the Garden is basically a home game for Michigan, but St. John's did a good job of getting their fans in the lower sections and making it look like a home game. But we know the deal. We know that Michigan shows out in New York City and on the East Coast. So it's really good, man. And they played with passion. They played with energy. I think those the assistants are doing a great job. And the acting head coach and Phil Martelli obviously is running the ship. And you just feel comfortable when you have that as a Michigan fan. So I liked it, man. I like their team. Who do they got in who's the MTE again?
Who's the what?
Who's their MTE again? Their tournament? I forget. Isn't it like Legends Classic?
No, they're Gavitt games. No. They are. Where are they? Nassau? They go to the Bahamas. Where do they go?
Oh shoot, we might see them down there.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta look, because I think Oregon. Yeah. I think Oregon is one of those teams. While I look that up, I'll give you this to chew on. 2023-2024 Michigan basketball. This team this year is better than last year's team.
I agree. Are we playing agree, disagree? I agree, because their defense is way more connected, and it looks like they're hungry. And I'll tell you, man, Doug is a baller. Doug is a baller.
Battle for Atlantis.
Okay, Atlantis. Cool. We'll see him down there.
Yeah. Are you guys going to Atlantis?
Yeah, we're not going to Atlantis. We're going to Baja Mar. So, we might cross some paths, those big hotel ballrooms. I don't know. Who knows?
I can't imagine. I mean, the college athlete that never gets anything. And, oh, my God, woe is me. I'm being exploited going to the Bahamas for free. Imagine that. Oh, wow. Gee, I, too, would like to go to the Bahamas for free and battle it out. That sounds like a lot of fun. I think that this team is better, Coach. I really do. I think that they are a better team overall. The offense has more flow. They're communicating on defense. Doug McBuckets is a real problem. Even their transfers have come in. Their graduate transfers. Trey Jackson, we haven't seen him out in the open space yet. He's athletic as all hell. The exhibition game, I was like, yeah, that guy. Namari Burnett, graduate transfer. Olivier Kemois, graduate transfer. Like, these guys are coming in. They're coming in experienced, ready to go. It's a Band-Aid for the problem, which is, hey, how do we fill out this roster? Like, they're going to have to recruit and get some younger guys in there that can maintain the ship here for the next 3 to 4 years. But I love this team.
Me too. And like you said, I think, they play together. And the biggest thing I don't think you can underestimate, I think they got a humongous chip on their shoulder from not only being picked near the last in the Big Ten, but just how the way last season went. And those guys, man, like, probably less talented overall. Not probably, they definitely are. They lost 2 lottery picks and the best big in college basketball, most likely. So it's like less talented overall, but they're like, you know what? Taurus Reed said, I can fill in. Doug McDaniel said, I got next, right? I love that team, and I love the mentality they have.
Real quick, last one here for you. Duke versus Michigan State tonight in the Champions Classic, followed by Kansas and Kentucky. Who wins this? Is it Tom Izzo or is it John Shire? Is it the Dukies or is it the Spartans?
I got Michigan State. Speaking of hunger, what do you think those practices were like for Michigan State after James Madison? Holy moly.
Hopefully they practice shooting. They got the gun out and they practice shooting.
They're going to be ready for the Dukies. They are going to be ready, and I think you're going to see a hell of an effort by Michigan State. And then you got Kentucky, Kansas in the nightcap. I got to go Kansas. Feed Big Hunt. They're going to play through Big Hunter, and I don't think Kentucky has any answer.
He is the coach, Kyle Barlow. Find him on Twitter at Kyle Barlow4. Send your kids' recruiting tapes there. Give Jeff Bowles a hug for me.
Will do.
There he goes. Hour 3 is next. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Earn bonus points with M-Perks at Meijer for just one more way to save this holiday season. Shop groceries, apparel, gifts, and more, and earn points on it all. And right now, earn 2 times the points for every $1 you spend on select Meijer brand food. Earn points every time you shop and redeem them anytime you want. Make Meijer your one-stop shop for everything you need this holiday season. And with M-Perks, you'll save even more. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. It's a Black Friday free fall every week in November. Each week, nab the best deal around with drawings from 3 to 11 p.m. Every hour, 4 lucky players will win up to $1,000 premium play. Don't miss a moment of the excitement. It's Black Friday free fall. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Huge here for my friends from Coppercraft Distillery. Now, they're a Michigan-based company, and they have a message for anybody 21 and up. You're going to want to get hooked up with this Honolulu Blue, a premium can cocktail. Vodka, blue raspberry lemonade. This special limited edition canned cocktail is available at local stores, pubs, and restaurants. And when you're cheering on our favorite pro football team, TDs, tailgates, and more, make sure you grab a Honolulu Blue from Coppercraft Distillery.
No one cares what you've been through. No one cares about your hopes, your dreams, your desire to make a difference in this world. Guess what? That isn't true. Law enforcement cares. That's why people join the force. Maybe they came from a world where those things are true. Maybe they didn't. But here's something they have in common. They do care. Maybe you should consider being around people who truly care about you. Visit MichiganPoliceChiefs.org and start the conversation.
Huge here for Van Andel Institute Purple Community. Now, they're a grassroots fundraising network powered by the volunteers who support VAI's mission to improve health now and in the future. Learn more at purplecommunity.org.
Merck Perks from Mercantile Bank is here. Merck Perks checking has all you need to plan your busy lifestyle. Travel services for hotels, airfare, and cruises, cashback rewards, and even savings on prescriptions, eyewear, and dental work. Merck Perks also includes all the traditional benefits you love, like online and mobile banking, and fee-free access to almost 40,000 MoneyPass ATMs. So when you're ready for perks, Merck is here. Learn more at mymerckperks.com, member FDIC.
Ma, ¿podemos llevar a Javi a su casa?
Claro.
¿Podemos llevar también a los gemelos, señora Delgado?
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Gets Benny to Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win. The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. Here's the give. Walker. Kenneth Walker. Touchdown. Spotty. Goff's got it. Back. Looks. Throws. Ends up. Yes. Caught. Touchdown Detroit Lions. They did it. Amon-Ra St. Brown in the receiving end. Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here. A grand slam from Br0's. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Welcome back here on this Tuesday morning. It's the 14th day of November 2023. We welcome you back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Text the keyword sports radio. Send that to 21,000. Sports radio to 21000. Myers Supercenter guest line 866-838-4843. 866-838-4843. We're on Twitter at XB Mornings. Facebook, X's and Bros, and of course, good morning to our television audience as well. BCSN and streaming live on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. Added.com to that to find our website. XBMornings at gmail.com is our fan feedback email inbox. You can find us all individually on Twitter. Ben Glaze is at the Ben Glaze. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key. And I'm Anthony Bellino at AC Bellino. I just got a text message. And the text message said to me, this has just turned into a Michigan Wolverines talk show. Folks, we discuss the topics that a majority of you are interested in. That's what it is. And even yesterday, on a Monday, I know that there were some fans that wear green and white that were either calling in or listening or tweeting me or texting that wanted to talk about Michigan. No one has called in except for Ryan because he can't turn his mic on yet. No one has called in to talk about Michigan State basketball. No one has called in to talk about football. Nobody. Nobody's done it. Michigan State plays Duke tonight. And we're 2 hours into this thing, and I haven't heard a peep from anybody in regards to the Spartans and the Blue Devils tonight. It's a big game. It's a big game. I love college basketball. I love the NBA. I love college football. I love the NFL. But you can't say that, well, this show, you guys only talk about this when that's all you guys want to talk about. Somebody, please, anybody, if you wear green and white, call or text at all about anything not U of M related. Just anything related to the Spartans. I don't know who they're going to hire as their next head coach. I have no idea. The Texas A&M job is open now. You know, people are like, well, Michigan State, that money's not an object. I don't know, Jim. I don't know. Do you want to make the same mistake twice? Do you? You want to throw a boatload of money at somebody again? Or do you want to just hire and let's see how it plays out? But you don't even call in to talk about that. You don't text about that. You don't tweet about that. Your only concern right now is Michigan. That's not my fault. Look at this story. And I brought this up when the Mel Tucker situation happened. USA Today did their report. ESPN spent a segment on it. And then the rest of the time, it was just bottom line news. They do a little cut in. The guy go, oh, this Mel Tucker has been suspended. And then, boom, on to why the Cowboys are, 2-4 or whatever they were at the time. Like, that's what it was like that. But Paul Feinbaum, he wasn't on TV every day talking about Mel Tucker and Michigan State. Stephen A. Smith wasn't on First Take talking about Mel Tucker and Michigan State. Don't blame us. It's not us. You guys are so arrogant. Nah. Because people want to talk about it? Like, it's up to you. Let's get to Rob, who's on the line right now. See, Rob, 866-838-4843, 866-838-4843. Good morning, Rob. How are you, my friend?
Oh, just listen to this Michigan Wolverine podcast you got going on over here.
Is this just straight propaganda? Am I pumping? The blue wall? Look, they said he wants to talk green. Look what I did. I took the blue wall down brick by brick in less than 5 seconds.
We got a big game today against Duke, and we got Anthony Bellino talking about how Michigan basketball is back because they beat St. John's.
Big game against Duke. Look, we took care of business against UNC Asheville. We took care of business against Youngstown State. Don't be mad at me because y'all were 1 for 20 for the three-point line against James Madison.
Early in the season. Nothing to worry about. It'll get the guys ready by March.
Oh, no, we're not already starting that by March stuff, are we?
Yeah.
Already? Okay, so do you honestly think Michigan State?
Preseason of basketball is pointless.
Really?
You could lose every game and still show up to March ready to go.
That's how you feel? You think tonight's game against Duke is meaningless?
It's a big game, but they're just different teams by March.
I would agree that your team.
That's why you can't sit here and say that Michigan basketball is back yet. It's only 2 games. Preseason.
Well, we've played 3, and my only thing about us being back is that we're better than we were last year because we're more of a team than we were last year. Last year was a collection of individuals playing individual basketball. It bothered the hell out of me. It was they were a tough watch. There was no connection from the fan base to the team. Like the last year was a disaster.
Yeah, all right. I give you that, but not 3 games into it yet. Can't be judging this yet.
Rob, you sound like a hater. By the way, how do you are you a big Harbaugh fan? Do you like Jim Harbaugh?
Absolutely not.
Who's going to be your next head football coach?
Ooh, it won't be Elko. I think Elko is going to be going to Texas Tech.
All right. Jason Candle from Toledo.
Maybe. No, not going to be Candle.
Thank God.
Maybe Jonathan Smith from Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma, really? Is that really you want to do that though?
Who do you think's going to be it?
I don't know who's going to do it. Like I really this is one of those questions where it's like, okay, we know that there are some folks on the internet who really want to have Urban Meyer go to East Lansing. I just don't foresee that happening. I can't figure out why.
That was just all talk. I mean, let's be honest. Urban's wife has already come out and said she doesn't want him coaching anymore. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, I didn't see that, and now I'm like, they gotta find somebody, and that's why, to me, when people start talking about, I was reading something on Spartan Avenue that was talking about Jason Candle. I mean, talk about a conflict of interest, and I will always support Jason Candle because the man that he is, the leader that he is. He continuously recruits at the highest level in the Mid-American Conference. Anybody that wants him fired, I want them fired into the sun. I love that man. I love the way that he coaches. The CBS special that they ran on Sunday from inside the Toledo locker room when they had I love everything about the way that he builds a program, and that's why it would hurt to see him go to Michigan State, but I would still support him.
I heard there was rumors that he is taking an interview at Michigan State.
I mean, you got to pick up the phone, right? If they call, you got to at least answer the question. But my man Rob, we got to hit the break. It was nice to finally talk a little Spartans here. Thank you for that.
Yeah, switch it up a little bit. Get your green and white followers. up
Let me-
a little bit.
Let me get a green towel in here ASAP. There goes Rob, resident Spartan Slappy. We'll be back with more X's and Bros after this. Michigan Sports Network.
It's time to go in the huddle with Tim Stout.
It's a new day to celebrate and be free. It's a new day full of excitement because it's a new day for winning only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. It's a new day only at SoaringEagleCasino.com. 10 games down, add 2 to go to complete a difficult Michigan State football season, which has now clinched a third losing season in the last 4 years and 2 in a row. And as it is, the Spartans are 4.5-point underdogs for the noon game Saturday at Indiana, a team that beat Michigan State in double overtime in East Lansing a year ago. We know one thing, Caton Hauser is going to be the quarterback as long as he is healthy through these final 2 games because freshman Sam Levitt is determined to redshirt now through the end of the year, and there's another quarterback or 2 behind him to keep him on the sidelines. Where he plays next year, who knows? The Spartans now have lost 7 of the last 8 games after Indiana. It's Penn State in a very tough year.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. Book your stay this fall in a luxurious first-class room and receive $50 premium play, a $20 spa credit, and a $25 dining credit. Rates are just $289 a night, Sunday through Thursday, and $339 on Fridays and Saturdays. Reserve your room now, only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Roast Umber is a farm-direct coffee sourced from Central American farmers and roasted in Grand Rapids. And also the Nitro Cold Brew Coffee is a convenient and healthy option for energy with no sugar additives. Look for it at your local retailer or at roastumber.com.
Can't call in? Text us using the keyword sports radio and send it to 21000 or tweet us at XB Mornings. Now, back to X's and Bros with Anthony Bellino.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Golf season's coming to a close, but however, Tullymore Golf Resort in Canadian Lakes, Michigan is much more than just golf, folks. Much more. Great location, perfect space for your wedding event, reception, or group outing. Maybe you got to get a little corporate gathering, need to make a little retreat. Enjoy the luxurious spaces at Tullymore Golf Resort in Canadian Lakes, an hour north of Grand Rapids, 30 minutes west of Mount Pleasant. Visit TullymoreGolf.com, TullymoreGolf.com, or call 1-800-972-4837, 1-800-972-4837. Book your event or your stay and play at Tullymore today. Never too early to start thinking about 2024 as well. So we did have one green and white caller that somewhat wanted to talk about green and white. However, big game against Duke, but doesn't matter. So I'm confused. I left all of that very, very confused. And so I'll go back to my original statement that I stand by. Do not blame me. Do not blame the Michigan fan for this idea that we are creating something. It's not us. Just turn on the 4-letter network and wait and see what happens. All right, time now for our Week 10 NFL scoreboard. It all started on Thursday Night Football. A rock fight broke out between the now 1-8 Carolina Panthers visiting the Chicago Bears. 16-13. Chicago gets the dub. Dante Foreman finally had a game for the Bears. 21 carries, 80 yards, and a score. 16-13 your final score. Bears are 3-7. The Lions went to L.A. to take on the Chargers, won 41-38. Riley Patterson with the walk-off winner, the game-winning field goal as time expired. Chargers fall to 4-5. Lions are 7-2. Where was Joey Bosa? Where was he at? Khalil Mack, where was he at? Getting blocked. How about David Montgomery, 12 carries, 116 and a touchdown. Welcome back, Monty. Jared Goff, 333 and a couple of scores for him as well. Jahmyr Gibbs, couple of touchdowns. Oh, Jameson Williams had one called back. The Colts beat the Patriots 10-6 in the Frankfurt games. That's a football game that Germany deserves right there. 10-6, Colts and Patriots. Colts are now an even 500 at 5-5. Patriots are 2-8. Texans went on the road, stunned the Bengals. C.J. Stroud, 356 and a touchdown to go along with an interception. Singletary had 30 carries in the game for 150 yards. My man, C.J. Stroud, just sensational. Noah Brown, who was selected by Dallas, God bless him, came out and put together a 172-yard receiving yard performance for the Houston Texans. By the way, Houston now 5-4, same record as Cincinnati. Cincinnati's going to be without T. Higgins again this week on Thursday Night Football against Baltimore. Adjust your lineups accordingly. Vikings beat the Saints 27-19. Watch out for Josh Dobbs and the Vikings. Now 6-4 on the year. He threw for 268, ran for a whole bunch more. T.J. Hockenson had 11 catches, 134 yards, and a touchdown for the former Detroit Lion tight end. Steelers beat the Packers. Thank you, Pittsburgh. They're 6-3. Packers are 3-6. What happened to Jordan Love? I thought he was the heir to the throne. They wasted a draft pick on this guy? Are you kidding me? They could have been, getting things ready to make another run with Aaron Rodgers, but they had to go draft a quarterback in the first round and waste a pick? Are you kidding me? Tampa Bay Buccaneers 20-6 winners over the Tennessee Titans. Tampa Bay now 4-5. Tennessee 3-6. The San Francisco 49ers thumped the Jacksonville Jaguars. I hope you listen to Matt Koalas on Friday. Guy's been simply on fire for us Friday mornings. Brock Purdy, 296 and 3 touchdowns. McCaffrey, 16 carries, 95 yards. George Kittle, 3 catches, 116 and a touchdown. The Niners roll in Jacksonville. Browns were down the entirety of the game. 59 minutes and 20 seconds or something like that is how many they trailed by. And then they won 33-31. In fact, they might have been down longer than that. It might have been 59-59 with a game-winning field goal as time expired. Shout out to the Cleveland Browns. That's a big-time win over a very good Baltimore squad. Baltimore 7-3. Cleveland now 6-3. Cardinals beat the Atlanta Falcons 25-23 for their second win of the season. Kyler Murray, 249 and an interception. Got to imagine they're going to move on from him ASAP. Dallas Cowboys beat the New York Football Giants. The G-men fell 49-17. Dak Prescott, 404 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a pick. Brandon Cooks, 9 catches, 173 and a score. Wow. The Cowboys, 6-3. Seahawks, 29-26 winners over the Commandos. Geno Smith, 369 and 2 scores. Good for him. Kenneth Walker, 19 carries, 63 yards for him. But the Seahawks improved to 6-3 on the season. Commandos dropped to 4-6. The Raiders get it done on Sunday Night Football. 11 consecutive quarters without a touchdown. Something like 34 or 35 drives without a touchdown scored for the New York Jets. Coaching comes down to coaching, right? I mean, that's what we would blame everybody else on. No. Quarterback play. That's it. Zach Wilson is a bum. Get him out of there. You can't win with him. I mean, how much this team was built to go to the playoffs. Now all of a sudden they can't win a football game. They're 4-5 on the year. Can't score touchdowns. Raiders improved to 5-5. Consecutive wins under Antonio Pierce, their interim head coach. And then Monday Night Football, we had to suffer through the Broncos and the Bills. I'm telling you, New Era Field in Buffalo, bad news bears for the Buffalo Bills. Window is closed. I'm calling it. Josh Allen can't keep the ball with his team. You lose to the Denver Broncos. Like, that's a terrible loss, 24-22. And you lost because you had too many men on the field for the game-winning field goal by Denver, which gave them another opportunity as their kicker pushed it right and then knocked it dead nuts down the middle. Your 4 teams on the bye, the Chiefs, Rams, Dolphins, and Eagles. Those are 4 interesting teams to have on the bye all at the same time. My goodness. We're going to hop back into that Lions game here momentarily. But I stumbled upon a thought while doing a Zoom call on the University of Michigan for football. And I did it last night. I got home late from work. It was after 7. And, I was scrambling around, and their studio wasn't used. So, like, how about 9 o'clock? And I said, yeah, I can do 9 o'clock. That's fine. I felt bad just because I knew I wasn't going to make it. Just based upon how our day was going at Danny's Fine Foods yesterday, I knew we were going to be in some trouble there. But I stumbled upon this idea that I actually really like seeing Maryland before Ohio State. Because Maryland's a team that's going to want to try to attempt to push the football down the field. Like, that's what they want to do. They want to move it through the air. And I just think that is going to be such a good primer for the Wolverines headed into that week against the Buckeyes. Like, go see an offense that wants to move it in the air, scheme accordingly against it, and move on from there, right? I mean, that's what we want to see. Now, Jim Harbaugh made an adjustment during the COVID year that he talked about yesterday.
Tractor supply, and as before, I think they even shut things down. But with the tractor supply, I got the chickens, brought them home for Easter, and just little chicks, for kids, and they loved them. They loved those chickens for about a week. The chicks, and then the chicks became teenager chickens, and then became adult chickens, all hens, egg layers. I'm the one who takes care of them, and the respect that I have for chickens. I know there was a time when I said that chicken is a nervous bird. I don't eat chicken. I don't eat meat. But I was dead wrong. I stand corrected. These chickens are low maintenance and high production. They lay an egg every 26, 27 hours, and they need water, they need food, and then I play with them too. I let them out in the yard. We run around. They're happy to see me. There's times when I'm doing good things for other people, and they're not as happy to see me as my chickens are. So it's good. It's good for my mental health as well.
Low maintenance, high production. Wouldn't eat chickens because they were a nervous bird, and now completely stands corrected. Jim Harbaugh at his press conference talking about his chickens. They're happy to see him. Just like dogs. You don't realize every time you leave the house and when you come home, like, you are the center of your dog's universe. Like, that dog is so happy to see you. Same thing with the chickens. Low maintenance, high production. Back with more X's and Bros after this. Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can stay up to date on the latest from Lansing 24/7 at MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. The latest news, press releases, and stories connected to every high school in the state of Michigan, available for you 24/7 from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Log on to MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. And if you're looking for archive boys and girls high school sports, MHSAA.TV. That's MHSAA.TV. 24/7, everything you need to know about high school sports in Michigan. Log on to MHSAA.com.
Earn bonus points with M-Perks at Meijer for just one more way to save this holiday season. Shop groceries, apparel, gifts, and more, and earn points on it all. And right now, earn 2 times the points for every $1 you spend on select Meijer brand food. Earn points every time you shop and redeem them anytime you want. Make Meijer your one-stop shop for everything you need this holiday season. And with M-Perks, you'll save even more. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Huge here for Van Andel Institute Purple Community. Now, they're a grassroots fundraising network powered by the volunteers who support VAI's mission to improve health now and in the future. Learn more at purplecommunity.org. Coming up later today at 3 on The Huge Show on the Michigan Sports Network, I'll deliver huge opinions on everything you're talking about.
Miss any of today's show? Find our podcast and listen on demand on Google, Apple, Spotify, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcast. Now, back to X's and Bros with Anthony Bellino here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Great to have you riding along with us. Do not forget, folks, that in the NBA, the game can change in an instant. But no matter how the action unfolds, you know DraftKings Sportsbook has your back. This week, new customers can score $150 instantly in bonus bets just for betting $5 on basketball. Win or lose, you get an instant dub. Best of all, it's safe, secure, and reliable with 24/7 support. You can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever, wherever you want. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use the promo code HUGE. Promo code HUGE. New customers can get $150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on basketball. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. Only using the promo code HUGE. The crown is yours. Now, if you or somebody knows a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline, 800-270-7117, 21 plus, Michigan only. Must be physically present there, too. Eligibility and deposit restrictions to apply. See bonus bets expiring 168 hours after issuance. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. Welcome back here, X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Great to have you with us. Let's hear from the coach, Dan Campbell. I want to get into the Lions' victory because yesterday a lot of calls. We got a little disheveled there. So let's get into it. We're gonna go. We're gonna go through the drive charts. We're gonna go through the stats, the figures, the numbers, all that. Get the audio. Love it.
I believe that's the standard in the room, though, as well. I mean, that all of those guys are that way. I can tell you all three of them between Saint, Leaf, and Reynolds is where it all starts. And J-Mo is just, man, he's part of it. And look, he's never been shy about hitting somebody and trying to end the run game. You saw that in college. So I think that's the standard here. I say it all the time. You want a physical you want to be known as a physical team, your receivers have to block in the run game and your corners have to tackle on defense. And we do that. We do that here. So I think it's a rite of passage, and they showed up. They showed up big. We talked about not only making your plays in the pass game, executing, being productive, but, man, we wanted physical dominance from the perimeter, and I thought all those receivers really showed up.
Now, he's referring to Jamison Williams because David Montgomery said, I want to highlight J-Mo. That's the second time this year I've had a long run, and J-Mo's been there to lead the way. That downfield block was awesome. Would have been great for him not to get that touchdown called back because of the Taylor Decker illegal low block. Like, come on now. But that was simply just a sensational play by Jamison Williams, not only on the catch that was called back, but also getting downfield. You want the rock. You got to block, right? And this is a program dedicated to actual football. That's why we talk so much about offensive line. We talk so much about defensive line. We're in the trenches. I know skill positions are sexy. I know your fantasy team, your stats, your figures. That's not how football's won. Football's not won by going out and overpaying a 30-year-old receiver, who's going to cry and complain about being more involved in the pass game. You don't want guys like that on your team. I'm telling you, you don't want guys like that on your team. No. You want guys that are dedicated to being physical on the outside, just like the coach said.
There's the shotgun snap back and looking. A lot of time. Throws deep down the middle. Got a man wide open. Amon-Ra St. Brown inside the 25, inside the 20, inside the 15, and finally shoved out of bounds at the 11-yard line. Here come the Lions now. 1st and goal from the 2. They give it to Gibbs. Right left, into the end zone. Yes, touchdown, Detroit Lions. With Big Jonah Jackson back and leading the way over the left side.
I love Dan Miller. And I love Lomas Brown. We got a great radio team. And damn it, we are good at football. And I can't get enough of it. This team is something else. Now, let's take a journey through the numbers here, shall we? A little bit of what took place. Amon-Ra St. Brown has had 4 games with 100 yards receiving this season, which is tied for the longest active streak in the league. He became the 11th player in NFL history to have 6 100-yard receiving games in a player's first 8 games of a season. Per Pro Football Focus, among all NFL tackles with at least 250-plus pass blocking snaps this season, Penei Sewell is first in pressures allowed with only 5. Tied for first in sacks allowed, 0. Tied for first in quarterback hurries allowed, only 4. Tied for fourth in quarterback hits allowed with 1. That's it. That's how good he has been. Bookend tackles. Back out to Amon-Ra St. Brown, leading the NFL in receptions per game at 8.1 and is fourth with 102.6 receiving yards per game. Lions running back David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs each have 2 20-yard touchdown rushes this season. The last time Detroit had 2 players with multiple 20-yard rushing touchdowns in a season was 1936. Detroit's running backs, David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, have 1,502 yards from scrimmage. That's the second most among any team's running back unit. Some guys didn't like Jared Goff. Some people didn't like him. He's a lame duck, couldn't get it done, not a gamer, blah, blah, blah. Although he's played in the Super Bowl. The Lions' offense in 2023 thus far is first in 20-plus yard plays with 49. Tied for first in 20-plus yard touchdowns with 13. Second in net yards a game at 406.4. Third in yards per play at 5.93. Fourth in net passing yards per game at 267.4. Fourth in rushing yards per game at 139. Fourth in touchdowns per game at 3.22. Top 5 in every category. That's pretty solid. The only rookies in NFL history to produce 65-plus rushing yards and 35-plus receiving yards in 3 consecutive games, Eric Dickerson did it in 83, the Edge, Edgerrin James in 1999, AP did it in 2007, the muscle hamster Doug Martin in 2012, and Jahmyr Gibbs in 2023. The most 300-yard passing games through 8 seasons in NFL history. Lions quarterback Jared Goff tied for 5th with 34. Oh, and by the way, he's going to go over that. That means he's got more 300-yard passing games than everybody except Patrick Mahomes, Dan Marino, Kurt Warner, and Matt Ryan. Oh, and by the way, he's more than likely going to pass Ryan, Warner, and Marino this year. Jared Goff. Matthew Stafford only had 34 such games. The Lions had 3 players produce 100 scrimmage yards and a touchdown against the LA Chargers. The only other time Detroit had 3 guys go for 100-plus from scrimmage and a touchdown in the same game, 2013, 95, and 1981. Like, that is incredible. In the last 2 games, the Lions have combined for 1,019 total net yards. It's the 3rd most net yards the Lions have ever had in a 2-game span, trailing only 2013 and 1950. Like, do you realize what you're watching right now? What you're seeing right now out of this team? They're incredible. They do everything you want them to do. And part of it, a great quote from Dan Campbell, going for it on 4th down. He said, quote, "Here's what I would say, because I tell my family this. Just wear a diaper before some of these games. I'll give them an alert and say, hey, put them on and be ready to roll." LA gets the ball first. 3 and out. Here comes Detroit. They go 7 plays, 61 yards, and 323. They throw a field goal on the board. And you feel pretty good they came away with points. Got to stop, came away with points. Chargers would then go 8 plays, 45 yards. They'd have to settle for a field goal. And then the Lions' first touchdown drive of the game, which was 5 plays and 75 yards. And that highlighted by Jahmyr Gibbs on 1st and 10 at the Detroit 48, went for 5 yards. He went left tackle. Then on 2nd and 5 from the LA Chargers, 47, he went right end, gained 11. And then 1st and 10 from the 36, he went right end, gained 35 yards. And then got the pay dirt touchdown inside the goal line. You go up 10-3. Then the very next possession, Justin Herbert threw that pass, one of the best interceptions. I know Jim Nantz thinks his name is Kerry Joseph. It's actually Kirby Joseph. The ability to catch that football and toe tap, keep it in inbounds, one of the best interceptions you'll see. And then it's 10-3. So you stole a possession there from LA. You have 4th and 5. You went David Montgomery on a draw. Got the first down. Then you went 4th and 1 from the Chargers' 13-yard line. Amon-Ra St. Brown got the carry. Out of like an inverted wishbone look. Gained 3 yards, got the first down. And then you got the 4th and goal. You decided to pass it. I thought there were too many bodies up in the line. I thought maybe you need to spread it out just a little bit. A little bit. That was just me. Or maybe get into a heavy set. I love the fact that they're using Malcolm Rodriguez as a fullback. Guy's a football player. Like, Cabinda's out. Rodrigo's doing some work on special teams, not getting as many snaps on the defensive side of the football, and that's totally fine. That's totally fine. My entire point last year was the fact that the guy was playing good football, and you drafted him in the 6th round. So it was about value. And if he turns into Zach Thomas, then awesome, you hit a home run. That I said that how many times last year with Rodrigo? If he turns into a Hall of Famer, you hit a home run. He doesn't have to. You need guys on special teams. You need football players. And Rodrigo getting involved as a fullback, that's great. Unfortunately, we get stuffed at the goal line. However, we forced a punt. Little 3-and-out action. So you took over 1st and 10 from your own 40. And then you were able to punch it in. Taking the ball 9 plays, 60 yards, and 447. And then this is where things got a little crooked, right? LA would score on their very next possession, going 10 plays and 75 yards. They kick off, not a big deal. David Montgomery, that's the big run. Amon-Ra St. Brown was talking about, like, hey, we're in the wrong personnel group. We check out of that. We get into the run. 1 play, 75 yards. Montgomery takes to the house. Jamison Williams sprinting down the field, just hitting anything that moves. I love that. Then the problem continues because LA scored again right away. We come out of halftime with a 24-17 lead. We go 8 plays, 38 yards. We're forced to punt. LA scores again, tie ball game. Lions of yesteryear fold at this moment. You knew that momentum had swung. It didn't feel like that on Sunday. And the reason, if you're wondering why Dan Campbell decided to go for it so much, is it because he believed with all of his heart there is nothing Khalil Mack and Bosa can do to stop us. Nothing. They can't do it. They cannot stop us. That's why. And you have that sort of belief in your club, holy mackerel. So it's tied at 24s. They kick it off, 7 plays, 75 yards. In 3:28, the Lions go right back down the field and punch another one in. The Jared Goff to Amon-Ra St. Brown touchdown, Detroit Lions. It's 31-24. The defensive issues ensue as an 8-minute drive is pieced together by the Chargers to tie the ball game at 31. Now what do we do? 7 plays, 75 yards in 4 minutes. Do it again. Score again. That was the one with Brock Wright, deep down the middle, extra points good. LA comes right back down, 7 plays, 68 yards, and 356 touchdown. Lions will take over. 1st and 10 from their own 25 with 3:24. And Jared Goff marches this football team down the field, burning the LA Chargers timeouts in the process, setting his team up for Riley Patterson to knock one right between the uprights from 41 and give this team the win as time expires. Every time, the defense got off to a good start, right? Defense got off to a good start. Most people are happy with the way that they were able to, force some punts there early. The LA Chargers went punt, field goal, interception, punt in their first 4 drives. This is why every single possession matters. Because if any of those drives result in points, we got a different outcome. Punt, field goal, interception, punt. Then the issue ensued where it was touchdown, 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 touchdown. 5 straight possessions that the Chargers were able to put points on the board and do it with 7. That's a little concerning. That's something that has to be cleaned up. Pass rush was able to get to Justin Herbert, just couldn't bring him down. They were able to force him to move around. 4 touchdowns and a pick, 323 through the air on 27 of 40 passing. Jared Goff, 23 of 33, 333, couple of touchdowns. I didn't like some of the matchups where we had linebackers on Austin Eckler. I thought that was going to be more of a Brian Branch sort of matchup there. God, it would be really nice to be healthy. First downs, 24 for the Chargers, 23 for the Lions. Third down efficiency, Lions were 4 of 13. Bolts were 7 of 14. Fourth down, Bolts were 3 for 3. Lions were 4 for 5. Total plays, 64 for the Lions, 68 for the Chargers. High-scoring affair, back-and-forth game. That should only highlight the amount of plays that these guys were out on the field when they went 80-plus against the Raiders, right? That's crazy. Total yards, Lions 533, L.A. 421. 10 drives to the Lions, 9 for the Chargers. Rushing yards, 200 for the Detroit Lions. And Lions defense held the Chargers to 98 on the ground. Penalties, 4 for 44 for the Lions, 3 for 36 for the Chargers. Pretty even there. Win the turnover margin. Time of possession relatively even. A Chargers team that walked in at 500. A one-possession win for the Detroit Lions. Pretty evenly matched game. I think that the LA Chargers have actually underachieved this year, considering the talent that they have on their squad. But a very good win for Detroit. And now you look at a team that's won 2 in a row and 4 out of their last 5. The Ravens game is a bit of a blip. The Seattle game and the Ravens game have a common denominator, much like LA did, in a quarterback that can scramble. The running quarterback is dead in the NFL. We know that doesn't work. It's not sustainable. But what has happened is guys like Justin Herbert, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Geno Smith, Lamar Jackson, these guys are able to scramble while keeping their eyes down the field, knowing they can push it further with their arm than they can their legs. So you save yourself the contact from the hit. You allow yourself more receivers more time to get open on a broken play. That's very dangerous. Right? And they got some good matchups there, the Chargers did. They exposed our zone. That's something that we're definitely going to have to clean up. You know, when we're in zone looks on defense, you know, Justin Herbert was shredding. Now we get the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers, and in consecutive weeks, both games are going to be at home. Sunday, and then rolling around into Thanksgiving on Thursday. Very, very busy week. Very busy week for people like me. Right? So we're going to do shooty hoops tonight. We're going to do basketball on Friday. We're going to do Lions football on Sunday. We're going to turn right around to Thanksgiving week. We got Wednesday night, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. My goodness. It is going to be a hectic week. But you know what? This is that time of year. This is that time of year. And the good news is, had to stay later than I wanted to yesterday. However, my grandmother, Lucille, and her secret family recipe of the Danny's cheese ball is back, baby. Back like it never left. My arms hurt. My hands hurt. It's a lot of cheese, but it's there. For Ryan and Ben, I'm Anthony. So long. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Same time, same place, right here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Bill Simonson here for my friends at Urban U. They're Michigan's best med spa. Now, they have multiple locations in the Grand Rapids metro area, and you'll find an Urban U location in Northville on the east side of the state. And this is a message for any guy listening right now. How often do you think about your skin health care? Well, Urban U has multiple options that could help you immediately. Whether you work out a lot, you run, your job requires a lot of sweating, you need to think about your skin health care, and Urban U can help you, hydrofacials, and so much more, or even your kids. Think about that. If your son, your daughter's playing a lot of sports and they're having trouble with their skin health care, Urban U has options that can help today. Just go to theurbanu.com to find out more. Locations in the Grand Rapids metro area and on the east side of the state in Northville, go to theurbanu.com.